What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nate Hibbert. If you're new around here, I know we've been gone for the last little week or two as I've been moving to my new place here in Atlanta. I know it's not much to look at quite yet. Hopefully I'll get some cool stuff to hang up on my wall in here, and hopefully the echo is not too bad in this room as I did just move here. I'm settling down for a little bit as much as I love traveling around, it's nice to have my own place and my own space again, so looking forward to that. But today I want to make a 10-minute listing or a quick listing focused on Q4 and specifically Thanksgiving. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that. I'm not going to try to delay too much. I know these can go much longer than 10 minutes if I get to rambling at the beginning, but we're happy to be back. So let's go ahead and jump into some over the shoulder. All right, so here we are back inside of Amazon. I'm going to get it started right away by typing in Thanksgiving shirt to see the type of shirts that will come up for Thanksgiving Day, as that's right around the corner. It's September 24th currently, so we got like a month until Thanksgiving, which I am looking forward to. I'm actually going to head back down to Florida because I am missing my family down there and some ocean time. But this is the page that we're going to start on. If I scroll back up here at the top, you're going to see there's 40,000 results. So that's just way too much competition, and this keyword obviously is going to have a lot of competition around it. So we want to get away from some of that competition, find something that passes our 5-step test, and start making art as quick as possible. So I'm just scrolling down looking at some of the sayings and the designs on shirts, as they could all potentially be places that we could find a landing zone. But I know a lot of the sayings here, as we've been doing some research and making some listings specifically for Thanksgiving. And after just a quick scroll up and down the page, I think I'm going to try and go after this "I'm digging Thanksgiving." I've saw a couple of times. That's kind of a new saying for Thanksgiving, and funny enough, I know that dump trucks and stuff like that actually sell pretty well. So that's going to be something that I am going to go back up to the search bar and type in to see if there's any chance that that's a landing zone. So let's go ahead back up to the search bar, and "I'm digging Thanksgiving." There's no shirt autocomplete, but let's just type that in and see what comes up. It is actually still all shirts on this landing zone, so that's good. And let's wait for DS Quick View to kick in and see what type of sales we're looking at here. I guess we can also look at the results. So 172. That's definitely under 1,000, which is good. And if we start looking at some of the BSRs here, we're seeing that they're pretty low, and obviously because Thanksgiving is right around the corner, but it's good to see that these are all selling well. Something to keep in mind, if you're seeing a bunch of listings that are all selling like super well, like all their BSRs are in the 50,000 or under 100,000 rank, it might be kind of hard to sell on that landing zone just because customers are going there for a very specific thing in mind. But for this one, we're not seeing those BSRs too low, so I think there is some room here for us to make a design that would work and actually get some sales on it, even though Thanksgiving is just a couple of weeks away. We're a little late. I usually like to be 90 days out, but we can definitely target this landing zone, "I'm digging Thanksgiving," and try to put our design here. We're seeing a lot of Thanksgiving type design sell here, but we're not seeing too many specifically with this type of imagery. So that's going to be something I try to put together on my favorite tool that you guys should know and love by now, which is Spark. Spark is definitely something we've talked about on the channel before. We've got the course for that, which we always have in the description below. If you see me using this tool and you want to know more about it, and I've actually been thinking about helping people more one-on-one now that I'm kind of rooted in Atlanta through some coaching calls. I'll tell more information about that at the end, but I definitely want to help people use this tool, and I've seen that people are still looking for more ways to speed up their process, and I think definitely understanding the best way to use Spark will help some of you guys do that. So I know that's kind of a plug, and we'll talk about that at the end. So I just want to get right into designing. So I'm going to go to my add button, go to text, add my text. There's actually been an update to the text tool if you guys haven't been using Spark lately. Like I said, this tool is always getting updated. That's why I have the course that's living and breathing. I'll constantly be updating that and talking about the text tool very shortly. Sorry, another plug, I know, but I just want to type in "I'm digging thanks," and I'm just going to put "I'm digging" here. And then for the second part, I'll actually go ahead and duplicate this and type in Thanksgiving. I kind of already know in my head how I want this to look. And just very quickly, I guess we should go back to this page, and I'm digging Thanksgiving. We're gonna right click this and go to tangent tests, which is the way that we do our trademark research very quickly. It's for clothing, exact match. It puts the saying right in. If we right click on it, we go to search and we see there are no records here. So I like to do that definitely before I start designing, or sometimes I forget right after I start designing, because I don't want to design something and pull keywords and do that whole thing for a trademark that's going to get us in trouble. So that's definitely something good to check on beforehand. So I'm just going to quickly design something up here. Again, we're focusing on speed. So you might think I'm in kind of a rush, and I definitely am. I don't want to spend more time on these designs than I have to, making sure that I'm just testing out the waters here. So I'm digging Thanksgiving, not a huge fan of those fonts. Doesn't mean that you just have to go with the very first thing that we see, but having those designs in mind as you're starting to design definitely helps speed up that process. And like I said, I'm starting to build a mental image of that from the second I see it. So now it's just time to kind of execute on that. So I'm digging. I'm going to change this to that good boy, or good dog rather. I don't actually like this all capitals, so we'll go back with the center align. And see what kind of icons we can find to fill this in now. So we're going to go to icon. Excavator was something I had typed in just to make sure that we have those. We do. Going to scroll down until I find one that I really like. You can see there are absolute ton of these icons that we could use. Again, commercial free use, because Adobe is actually footing the bill for us here, so we get to use these 100% for free, which is extremely nice of them. Thank you, Adobe. I'm just looking for one again that I kind of had in mind. We'll go with something like this. That should work well. So I'm going to make that nice and big, a little bit bigger. Throw that in the middle, and I can make this text, actually, I can put this in the back and make the text pop out on top of it. And these are not going to be the colors that I'm finishing with. I'm going to use some of the color palettes, because I've noticed for like holiday theme stuff, they usually like a lot of colors incorporated, so just all white designs can sell, but having something more colorful that matches kind of the season is always a bonus. So I'm digging Thanksgiving, move that down, and then go ahead and find my turkey that I want to throw in here. This one right at the top is perfect. And then we can go ahead and drop this in, make it a little bit smaller. We can make him standing on Thanksgiving. So now I know this all yellow design doesn't look the greatest in the world. So if I click on this blank area here, go to colors, I think this is a pretty good like Thanksgiving color swatch. And we can just keep hitting shuffle in here until I find one that I really like. So we'll just click a couple of times. It's kind of giving me some ideas of how this could look and what's good. And another thing we can do is come back over here and kind of check out the colors that they're using. So they're using, a lot of yellow in here, some browns. And so those are all like notes that I'm making in my head as I'm going through here and looking for a color swatch that I would really like to use. But also there is room for us to, improve on that and try something new. And I kind of like this, having this green in here somewhere. So let's see if we can't find one that we like. So this is definitely something that I struggle with a ton, is colors. This is probably the thing that I struggle with the most, is knowing what colors look good on which type of design. And so this is why I love Spark and the color swatches that they have here for us to just click around in and see what colors we think are the best. So it may seem like I'm spending a lot of time here, but this is something that I personally struggle with a lot. So I'm very appreciative to Adobe for building this into their system and allowing us to use it with all their knowledge. So I know this isn't the greatest, and it's kind of what we started with, but I'm going to go ahead and start with this one. There's always room to come back and improve this design, but as to not take up too much time here, we're going to go ahead and download this. We want it to be transparent. So once that downloads, we can jump into our Merch by Amazon account and start making this listing. So once again, we're going to go to upload art. We're going to click on the merch size one that I just made. And while this is loading in, I like to do two things. One, I come up here to the select products and I want to note what marketplaces and what products I'm selling. I'm going to unselect .de because I don't feel like translating all of that today. And again, just focusing on speed. So we might lose out on a marketplace here, but we're going to be able to get more listings up if we're really focusing on speed. And I can go ahead and hit continue. And then I'm going to come down here and I actually will resize for these two different products. So the hoodies have a different size and the pop sockets have a different size. So I'm going to go back into Spark. I'm going to click on the white space here. I'm going to go to resize custom and change this to 40/50. Hit done. That's going to be the correct sizing for our sweatshirts. So I can actually shift click all of these things and just move it down just a little bit. We could size up some of these things like Thanksgiving. We could size up for sure. Make sure that looks good on there. And we'll actually move this guy over a little bit. Some things do get, rearranged as, Adobe is resizing this stuff for us, but it doesn't take too much time to come in here and kind of click and make sure that, things still look good on whatever product we are listing. So that's our sweatshirt sizing. We're going to go ahead and download that as a transparent PNG. And the last size that we want to make this, again, coming over to our resize tab, is 485 by 485, which is for pop sockets. And on this one, the background doesn't actually matter. So I'm going to go back to my colors. I'm going to go to that color swatch that I liked. And I'm just going to hit, shuffle a couple more times to see if it gives me, again, colors is something that I struggle with. So leaning on Adobe here to give us a good design. I actually like this one. It's nice and bright and it's going to jump out at people. And again, we have to remember this is going on a pop socket. So we kind of want to draw an imaginary circle in our head as we're resizing this one to make sure it's all going to fit inside of that pop socket sizing that we have. So making things a little bit smaller, making sure it's still kind of centered up here. But that will look good and actually fit on the pop socket. That's what we're concerned about. Make that slightly bigger and just keep moving that down. For regular t-shirts, you want to push it kind of towards the top, and for these pop sockets, you want to push it towards the middle so nothing gets cut off. And I think that's good, so we're going to go to PNG, and then it's not going to be a transparent background this time. We're going to do this solid color PNG. Now that we have those ready, we can pop back into merch, go to our different products, click on them, and upload the right sizing for both of these. And then we can start going through here and editing the details. So on each one of these, you get to pick what colors you think look best. Black is already pre-selected because it is the highest selling garment color. So black is good. Red is a good color. Orange doesn't really fit for this design, even though that's a good Thanksgiving Day color. We'll do a green, and I think that's good. I try not to pick too many colors here. Usually sticking under 5 I found is good, and only selecting youth if it doesn't go against any of the terms and service for Amazon for what can be sold on youth sizing, which is mostly just stuff that's inappropriate, can't be sold on youth. But definitely check out their terms of service for yourself if you don't know, what that means. They have it written out very clearly for you to go through. So you can go through all the products to do that. You can see that that popped in on the sweatshirt and the pop socket looks good. Then down here for your product details, the way that we do this is, just again, focusing on speed. If you have pre-written out bullet points, definitely go ahead and throw those in. But for your brand, we're going to want to do something themed around this holiday of Thanksgiving. And we can have Steven make a video like more specifically talking about, the keywords and how we use them for the brand and the title if you guys need that. But very quickly off the top of my head, I'm going to come up with a Thanksgiving Day apparel. And we can even, add a little bit more to that and say for turkey lovers. That way we're getting a couple more keywords in there, which is always good. And then for the title, we want to go back to Amazon and check our actual, keywords that were typed in for that auto-completed. So if we delete out that G, we're going to see that this does autocomplete, which means customers are typing that in, which is a good indication to us that that's what we want to put as our title. So I'm digging Thanksgiving, and you can definitely add more keywords to that. Usually I just go ahead and capitalize the first letter of all those things, but even just using that is going to give you a leg up on your competition, and you don't have to have these bullet points. If that's super slowing you down, if that's like crippling your ability to make listings quickly, then just go ahead and skip those, and you can go ahead and hit review, and that's going to push it live to Amazon. All right, so I want to clarify what I was talking about in the middle there. I knew I could go off on a rant, so I wanted to save it here for the end. But me and Steven have been talking a lot about this idea of me helping people one-on-one. We love doing the bigger group stuff. We love even doing like the small group boot camps and stuff that we've done. But as I've been traveling for the last 2 years, I found the way that I am most effective is actually working with people one-on-one. And so to figure out exactly what that looks like for me and for anyone who wants to join me in this, I've put a link in the description below to our calendar, so you can actually sign up for a 20-minute free call with me to figure out, what you know about print on demand and how I can help you be a little bit more consistent in your business. I think that's the number one thing that I'm going to start talking about this year is the consistency. I think that has been something that me and Steven kind of take for granted, as there's two of us kind of pushing this business forward and always like being on top of each other and making sure things are getting done. But especially if you're doing this by yourself, I think it's kind of hard to be consistent and to keep that consistency going. But that's definitely a thing that helps a print-on-demand business grow, more than anything else that I've seen out there. Just because this is a compounding business in both the knowledge that you have of how to do this, but also the products that you'll be able to put up. The more consistent you're able to do that, you're going to learn a lot, and you're also going to have a lot of products actually listed live on Amazon for people to purchase. So as I'm figuring out what this one-on-one, time looks like, I just want to meet with a bunch of you guys. So for the next 10 days, I have a 20-minute call set up for anybody who would like to, just meet with me, get to know me a little bit. I can get to know you, and I can hopefully help you solve some of the problems or, some things that could help you be more consistent in your print-on-demand business. So if you're willing to figure this thing out with me, I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to meet with you. So go ahead and click that in the description below, and hopefully I'll get to see you guys within the next 10 days. And until then, you'll get to see us here, hopefully again, every Tuesday and Thursday. That's our plan, to go and make YouTube videos for you guys to kind of know what's going on. We'd love for you to join us in the Facebook group as well, as that community is really starting to jump off. All we're asking for over there is your email and something that you are trying to work on in your business. We've got 2 questions to join. It's not too scary. You can join us over in Facebook and kind of get to know the community and some people over there, or you can join us here on YouTube for the more visual content. But all right, guys, thanks a lot. Looking forward to seeing some of you guys in those coaching calls. We'll see you around.